Hey everyone, it's the final day of Fast Forward Your Future event. We have spent the past 2.5 weeks together, unleashing you from those limitations, propelling you toward building a pattern in your brain to allow success, to be done with the stories. I'm going to remove the timer. Was so ready for you today. I'm just saying, let's go, let's get in here, because we've spent this whole time together breaking down what was getting in the way, right? Those stories, those limitations, those voices that come into your mind, patterns of the past that you have inherited that are not yours, that are literally running 90% through your subconscious, 90% of your daily decisions, actions, and results. And the best news of all, you've learned that in the 67-day year, we teach you the step-by-step process to unhook and unleash you from those. This is a gift from God. Now, I told you that in scripture. I was in those PhD rooms learning the science of why a brain wires one way versus the other. And I was the weirdo going, oh my gosh, that's in the word. That's there. Renew your mind. Keep renewing your mind. Think on what is true, pure, and lovely. God laid it out for us, but I had to go into science to figure out, oh my gosh, there is a way for us to synaptically prune the things that we do not want to keep. Can I get an amen for that one? Can I tell you that those limitations that have held you back, being stuck, not feeling like you're enough, feeling like you're not sure if you can do it, yet you're feeling called and pulled toward a destiny, toward a destination, toward a drive that you can't explain, and it keeps you up at night. Why? Because it's a God-given calling, because God has put that in your heart. All right, I am fired up for you today. You also learned that the old way to set goals and try to accomplish them literally works against how your brain allows success. And you wonder, why do I feel like I'm constantly in a tug of war with a bully on the other end? It's because you're using an old system that was based on creating great employees, not great world changers. And so today is the day that we close the doors to the 67-day year. Now I've got an incredible surprise for you, and you're all jumping on. Wait, I thought we were starting at 12. Yeah, I jumped in early because I was raring to go this morning. As my grandmama says, I'm raring to go. So today at midnight, the doors close. Some of you noticed that we dropped a 12-pay option this morning. Like in my prayers, I'm like, Lord, what do they need to be able to get off, to be able to get in, to be able to really start to change? Because as you've learned over the last 2.5 weeks, the only thing standing in your way to the greatest future you could ever imagine that God already deposited in your heart is to unleash the thinking that will allow you to get there. And we taught you the 67-day year method, how to do it in a way that the brain aligns with it, so that you can see it, see the dream that you have behind your eyes, that you're not maybe even telling everybody. You're dreaming that level, and that is what we're going to unleash. The promise, a year's worth of goals in 67 days. That's what we're going to do, because when you unhook from the patterns of the past and you build your goals in a way that your brain doesn't see it as a threat, God anoints it and celebrates it and totally moves you forward. So today's last day, 12 pay dropped this morning. So for some of you are like, I need that extra support, make sure you get in there. Now I have a special guest that I'm bringing forward this morning. I'm beyond grateful, privileged. This is one of my favorite human beings on the planet. He is the one that when I am in a place, I'm like, I need me some Crain. I need to get the anointing back on me and move forward. Like, he is going to come in today and talk to you about why it's so important to unhook from those limitations and live into your true potential. And I'm just so honored to bring him on the stage today. Rex, I am just blown away that you're here today, and they don't even know what's about to hit them. That's what I know.
Let me say, what an incredible honor it is to be a part of Fast Forward here, the 67-day year. And I say that over the last 35 days, this will be my 37th speaking engagement, about 43 days, and about 60,000 people live. And I want to say that what's been amazing is this was on my radar. I don't do many of these that personally, unless they're friends. And I know that they're committed to getting results for people. So being here and watching the results that you've produced and help people take the chains, the limitations, break through labels and habits and patterns that hold back so many incredible people. It is an incredible honor, and people are in good hands here. I showed up today because people are in really good hands, and destiny takes people. And Shannon, Dr. Shannon, you show up for people and you provide solutions and strategies and the insights that allow people to go from intention to inception and really create magical, special, incredible, God-given results in their life. So it's an absolute honor to be here. Thank you for sharing your stage with me, and welcome to everybody who's there, no matter where you are in your life. So glad that you're here. And if you allow me, I'll just go ahead and step in. Is this okay?
Step in. I'm going to be in the green room, just going. And when you're ready, just say, get back in the room, Shannon.
Well, welcome everybody, wherever you may be in the world today. I'm so glad that you're here, and it's a gift that you're here. Over in the last 6 days, 1 million people have left the planet, and you're still here, and you still have a heartbeat. That must be evidence that God knows the earth needs something that you contain. So I come to you today from my office, and I'm privileged to be with you. No matter what your journey is right now, whether you're on a roll and you're looking to take new advantage of your life, your opportunities, and maximize your skills and resources, or maybe you're in a slump like so many people where the power feels like it's gone off in your life and your dreams and your relationships, and you're looking for a way to turn that thing back on to where you're alive, you're passionate, you're doing something with life rather than life doing something with you. Wherever you may be, I'm glad that you're here. And if you'll allow me a couple minutes of your life today, we have a credible opportunity for you to gather some insights that will allow you to flip the switch, if you will, in some areas that matter the most, and begin to activate some things that are dormant and accelerate things that are moving at one pace that can take to a whole nother place. I want to start today with a story I read not too long ago of a woman by the name of Mary, and she actually had one of her arteries was completely clogged. And so she went to have a surgery done where they would do an open heart type of surgery where they would clamp down on the main vein and they'd put it on and connect it to an apparatus. My wife's actually had that kind of a surgery. They stopped her heart for 4 hours. It's fairly routine. In her case, it was only about maybe like a 3-hour surgery or something of that nature for this woman. And it would simply, after the surgery, usually once they take the clamp off and the vein begins to warm up and the blood begins to pump all the way back to the heart. For Mary, this did not happen. For Mary, they did everything that it went counter, just total clockwise, the way surgery should work. And it got to the end and her heart would not beat. The doctor got a little bit nervous and they started to try to massage the heart. They actually gave it steroids. They tried to jumpstart the heart and nothing seemed to be happening. Here was this 40-year-old woman and her heart had stopped, and they were beginning to realize that they were at the risk of losing this woman in her incredible life. And he did not know what to do. And the doctor stood back, this is a true story, stood back and then walked up to her in her ear and said, "Mary, we've done all we can do medically. It is time for you to tell your heart that it needs to beat again, that you need to tell your heart to beat again." He stood back with his staff. This was not a religious corporation, a religious group of doctors, just medical personnel. And after he said that you need to tell your heart to begin to beat again, all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. Her heart began to trigger and blood began to flow and she came back to life. Why do I say that today? Because so many people that I'm talking to on this wonderful adventure for the last 2 weeks, you have incredible dreams, you have incredible relationships, opportunities, skills, gifting that will reward you when you do something with it in a special way. But many of us over the last 3 years have felt like a power outage. How many know that's true, huh? We've had setbacks. We used to be slim. Now we need the gym. We used to be doing great on the highway of life. Now it feels like we're going slow. And we're looking for something to tell us it's time for the dreamer inside you to live again. It's time for the lover inside you to rise up and reclaim it. It's looking for the leader inside you to not watch and let things happen to you, but to find your backbone, not just a wishbone, and cause the future. And finally, the believer to begin to think right. Because how many know your mind can make a heaven out of hell or a hell out of heaven? The quality of your life is the house of your thoughts. And your thoughts either limit or liberate the potential that's on the inside of you, while your capability is constant. How much of it you use, how much of it I use, depends on the quality of your thinking. That's why I have so much admiration and respect and would show up today for my friend, Dr. Shannon, because she's able to unhook and unlock those different things that can unlock these aspects of you that will give you your greatest return reward and also give you a celebrated life, an abundant life that richly rewards you. And God put you here for that kind of a life. I'm thinking about this over the last 3 years because as I speak around the world, I was just out of the country, came into the country. I find that people are feeling powerless. They're feeling hopeless. They're feeling like their efforts to change things are not coming through. And so they're internally frustrated. I call it a divine dissatisfaction, where the real them is making like a demand, like, hey, man, I need to do something, but I can't find the ability to do it. And I found that, if you feel powerless to change your past, you feel really condemned. You feel guilty, right? Have a guilty complex. If you feel powerless to change your present, you can start to feel angry, frustrated. You feel powerless to change your future. You start to feel scared. And then all of a sudden you start to feel like, man, my allergies won't change. My business will never get off the ground. My profits won't increase. I'll never be able to buy the house. I'll never be able to have that meaningful marriage or that really wonderful relationship with my kids. If you start to feel like that's never going to happen, so many powerful people start to accept a weak life. And I say that to you today because I want to remind you of who you really are. God put you on this planet and he gave you a spirit of power. That means you're not to live contained or controlled by what things happen to you. I know around the world, we've become so reactive to happening in the governments or the inflation or the home situation or business, with, different supply chains and things of that nature. And how's this all going to work? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And that paralysis of analysis has kept people paralyzed and sterilized. But today's a day that you're going to reclaim that power that God gave you from the beginning. He never intended other people to drive your life. In fact, too many of us have let blind people proofread your vision, and people that are lost, you've asked for directions and they don't know where you're going. You have your own yellow brick road that I believe you've been created to live in. I'm going to help you step into that today, but it comes with a decision that I do have power. And if you're a faith person, and I know this is a big Holy Week, come on, with Passover, if you're Jewish or if you're a Christian, the resurrection of Christ. And the Bible says, God gave you a spirit of power. The Torah says God gives you the power to create wealth. I want to remind you, no matter where you feel limited, hindered, no matter what you're feeling right now, the good news is you're not what you feel. The good news is what you decide, and you can decide to link with that power. You have power to do different, you have power to do better, and you have power to do more magical. Those were the words of Walt Disney in the 1930s when he went to an amusement park with his daughter. He sat there and he looked at cracked horses going around that was like a merry-go-round, if you will, at that time. And he was looking and he was drifting off into space. And his little daughter goes, "What are you imagining, Dad? What are you dreaming about?" He says, "This is a really good park. I'm so glad we can go here." This is in Los Angeles. He says, "I'm so glad we can go here on the weekend, but I'm going to do something, sweetheart. I'm going to build my own park. I'm going to do it different. I'm going to do it better, and I'm going to do it more magical." Maybe you want to write those 3 words down because that's where your life's about to become in the year 2023. Come on. The greatest opportunity is when people are so pessimistic that you have an opportunity to turn ideas into real profitable things. And when people are so pessimistic is our greatest opportunity in the world if you study history. But you can do different, better, and more magical. Different begins with vision. And let me say that. Different begins with vision. While sight's a function of your eyes, vision's a function of your heart. I believe what Helen Keller said is true. What's worse than being born blind? Having sight with no vision and with no dream. Why? Because without a vision, we kind of wonder and wander. We live reactive rather than creative. How many of you have seen so much of our lives have gone into a state where things are decaying or they're diminishing or we lost momentum, not because we weren't powerful people, but we lost vision. We lost focus of where we're going, who we're going to become. We lost focus of how great our health could be, how great our business could be, how great things could be. And we began to accept information that did not transform us. In fact, it deformed us. It minimized us. It conformed us to looking for other people to decide how great my life is. Can I say this for a minute? Your life's way too precious to place in the hands of somebody else to determine how great 2023, 2024 is. How many know that you need to be able to recover that life and create your vision? Why? Because when you make the vision makes you. As the proverb says, the mind of a woman or a man, they plan their way, and then God directs their steps. Could it be that you're frustrated, sitting on so much of potential, ability, profitability, intimacy, joy, health, because we've lost sight, maybe through a blind spot, or maybe been blinded by what's behind you? Could be success. I remember sitting and coaching the CEO of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and he had other ideas and aspirations in his heart, but he didn't want to bet on himself again because he was afraid of, well, if I leave this, what if I don't succeed? I don't know if I can handle it. So he settled. Good guy, settled where he was. Other people are blinded by the defeats, the setbacks, where it got into them. And that oppression no longer made them aggressive, but passive. They started contemplating all the reasons why they can't succeed, why they'll never recover, why things won't get better. And all of a sudden, they became a forward person stuck on backward thoughts. Maybe that's you right now. You have a dream that's calling you forward. You have a calling to create, a calling to cure, a calling to challenge things, but you got backward thoughts. Well, I failed there in that endeavor. I tried. I didn't lose the weight the way I thought I was going to lose. And you start to build up and stack so many ideas in your mind where you think, well, I don't want to be disappointed again. I don't want to experience defeat again. So it's better to play safe. I don't know about you, but we heard a rhyme growing up says, better safe than sorry. Could not be further than the truth. What a lie that's empowered so much evil in the world. Play it safe rather. It's better to be safe than sorry. I would rather take risk and God reward my faith just like you. I know you're not the kind of person that would cheat yourself and settle yourself and just settle where you are, but you want to take advantage of the life you have and who God made you to be. How do you do that? I got to create a vision. A vision's a product of your desires. It's a picture of your potential, and it's a promise of your future. Think about it. This world and your life and your family, your homes, your business only goes to the size of your vision and dreams. Why? Because vision is the energy of progress. It stimulates you. It activates things inside you. It brings hope to your life immediately. How many need hope right now? Come on. You might want to type that in. I need hope in this world because it anchors you. Do you know a research was done out of Harvard where they took some lab rats and they put them in a whole container and they wanted to see how long they'd swim without being rescued before they kind of quit. Lasted 14 minutes and I think it was right at about 40 something seconds. They took the rats out and they dried them off. They gave them a little experience to where, hey, everything's going to be good here. And they put those same rats back into that water. And they wanted to see in contrast, if they got dried off, if they were cared for a couple minutes, would they give up quickly? Remember, they were just at the point of giving up. What was amazing about it is they lasted not just a couple minutes, not 15 minutes, but 60 hours. They continued to swim because they had hope they were going to be rescued. How many know when you become clear about what you want to create, the kind of person you're going to be, the skills you're going to develop, the service you're going to bring to other people, and that becomes crystal clear. Even as Solomon said, better is the vision in your eyes than the wandering of emotion, where you don't build your life on emotion, which can be so fickle. You can't afford to allow the 2023 to be built on your feelings. Come on. How many know 1 minute you can be up, the next minute you can be down? 1 minute you're happy, the next minute you're sad. That's a shaky way to build a sturdy life. But when you create the vision, you make the vision makes you something changes in your life. You have a foundation that now gives you hope, expectation of the future, and it becomes a foundation to decide, hey, I need to eliminate this. I need to start this. I need to stop this and start this. How many know many of our lives, we fail because we're overloaded? We have so much on our mind. Our mind is like a mental traffic jam. Something that's doctor, you're so good at this is, when you think about like helping us eliminate things that eat away at us, almost like a mind virus, it victimizes our vision. When you have a vision, it shows you what to ignore and what to ignite. Dr. Shannon, you're brilliant at this, but then it focuses our life. And you have to be able to be focused. Why? Because so many things are going to try to steal it. In fact, let me say, powerful people aren't defeated by evil or circumstances or COVID for that matter. They're defeated by broken focus. And when you have focus, it lets you pierce something. It lets you go through something. I remember a niece of mine many years ago. I was coming to a family reunion and she was outside, maybe 11 years of age at the time. And I walked up and she had a magnifying glass and a spray can. And I go, what are you doing? And she goes, oh, I'm going to set this can on fire. I'm like, easy there, my little arsonist. I go, what do you mean? She goes, Rex, you see that big old sun up there? I go, yeah, of course. She goes, That thing's warm, huh? That thing's hot. It was a warm day in Southern California. She goes, but it's just going to make this can warm and the Sprite inside of it warm. But she says, if I wanted to break through it, I can concentrate its rays and focus it, and I can set this thing on fire. It can even break through steel. And she goes, Rex, you can set anything on fire if you decide to mentally focus on it. How many know right now that if you chose to focus, on building a special relationship, one that you would deliver and meet the needs of your love, on a whole nother level, it would change its dynamic. If you focused on mastering your health, your metabolism, your blood stabilization, that would allow you not to store fat, but to burn fat, how many of that would change? If you started to focus on, I want to be happy on the inside, and you started to develop some of the techniques that we've been teaching over the last couple of weeks, how many know you could have a more cheerful mind that will produce health in your body and change your outlook on life? When you focus on something, you shift gears. The quality of your life, what you experience in life is not what's available, it's what you focus on. The life that you live, the life that you take to the next level, it's about what you focus on. So my question is this, as you focus, and gives you a vision thing, what more can you be and what more will you be? What more can you be? You need to take a list and write down, what more can I be in my life? What more can I be as a man, as a woman, as a husband, as a father, as a mother, as a grandmother, as a child, as a student? What more can I be, and what more will I be? What is that? Is that certain kind of person? Is that certain kind of creation? I'm going to create something, which is always a clue to your calling, because you like to read certain levels of information on certain things because it's inside you. It's a wisdom to the clue. It's a clue to the wisdom you contain. If you start to think about what I love to think about, read about, learn about, it'll help you focus on your calling. In fact, let me just divert here for a minute. You focus on the pain that draws the compassion out of you in the world. That could be hurting children. It could be starving people. As Dr. Shannon and her husband, they care so much about what happens in Africa, and they sponsor kids and they help kids with medication and treatment and schooling. It draws the compassion out of her. How many know when you decide, when you see what draws the compassion out and you put focus on, that activates your calling? Your very caring qualifies you to bring cure and help to those things. Just to help you with clarify a little bit of vision. My friend Ken Norton, he was the guy who knocked out Muhammad Ali. Cracked his jaw in half, and he did the impossible. And I asked him one time, I said, Ken, how in the world did you knock out Muhammad Ali's jaw? How did you break it in half? How'd you beat him? He goes, Rex, I grew up really, really poor. He says, the poor man's not a man without a cent. That's what he said. It's the man without a vision and clarity. He said, I didn't have a vision. I grew up in poverty. I grew up with a messed up home. And all I saw around me was anger, frustration, and bitterness. And it was easily becoming addictive as this is my normal. But he said something, I disrupted my present. And let me put this in right now. You can't change your future until you disrupt your present. We can't change our future till we disrupt your present. Many of you are going to disrupt your present today and say, no, I'm intended for more. I deserve more. I deserve what God's called for me. I deserve abundance. I deserve intimacy. I deserve sanity. I deserve soberness. Come on. I deserve health in my body and strength in my life. That changed for him. He said, I changed my mental diet. I go, what do you mean? He says, all we grew up on was poverty. So that was in my mental psyche. He said, I had to condition my mind to succeed. I had to ask myself, what would I need to believe to succeed here and get a vision of it? So he said, I read Think Rich and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill 300 times in a year and read the miracles of the Bible. He said, I needed to brainwash and dilute and detoxify my thoughts from so much negativity because I couldn't have a positive life in a negative mind. I needed to shape my vision by putting new information on the inside. Many of you are going to get like a miracle mentality. Why? Because your breakout, your breakthrough, your miracle is not going to shift in your circumstances. It's going to shift out of the condition of your mind. You're going to renew your mind so you can experience and prove something different in your life. Come on, somebody. How many of you thinking thoughts of loss, less, I'll never recover, I'll never get the relationship? You think that it puts you in a state of suffering. But when you go into a state of success, you ask a different question in your mind that helps shape your vision. How can I use this? How can I be more? How can I give more? What can I create? What can I heal? What can I challenge? And it activates your potential. Your potential is constant, but how much you use depends on the vision you have for yourself. That's how you get to a place called different. But what about better? That means to improve, to intensify, to qualify, to unleash something that's, you already have it, but it's in a better state, a better provision. I always think about number one, I have to have a better strategy. How many of it would be futile for me to go running east and look for a sunset? You have the wrong strategy, you don't get to the right place. But if you have the right strategy, the recipe, the map in your mind, you can lose the weight for good. You can build meaningful relationships with other people. You can begin to build a relationship with yourself that will honor you, or you'll have boundaries in your life and you'll respect yourself, because self-worth is a gift from God, but self-respect is a gift you give yourself. If you have the right strategy, things could change. Look at that for a minute. What about your relationships? If my relationships focus and strategy or recipe or map mentally is how can I get love? How many know you're going to be doomed? Because you're going to be grading that person all the time by what have you done for me lately? And how many know that's going to sabotage every attempt in your heart to show love? Love, what if you change that strategy to how can I give love? Love must begin with me. What if I trade expectation for a person with appreciation? Could that mental hack right there allow you to be more present and passionate, to light that person up? How can I make that person the biggest fan of my love in my life? If you ask that question, come on, how many know you would make a heaven out of hell, or you would increase the quality of heaven you already have in your life? But if you ask yourself, well, okay, my strategy is, I'm waiting for this person to forgive, or waiting for this person to ask for forgiveness or to change and shift, you're doomed to failure. What about a strategy in your health? Come on. How many know that your body's not Amazon Prime? It's not going to show up in 24 hours. I got to have a strategy to do something with my temple, because it's a carrier of your destiny, and you need energy for destiny. Maybe for a minute you need to move your arms. Maybe you need to magnify, your use and your direction and things in your body. Think about that for a minute. Man, go get yourself a trampoline they created for people that are in NASA, because it releases more oxygen in their brain. It's the number one thing to cleanse your lymphatic system from disease. What about business owners from it? The right strategy. Okay, who's my ideal client? Have you ever taken the time to do the study, the research? Who is my ideal client? What is the problem that I solve for them? Is it crystal clear? Your X factor. Okay, and then you're going to have logical and emotional buyers. I want to know for a minute, okay, I got to be able for the logical buyers to show something works. I got to show how it's going to make their life better and give them the data, give them insight into it. Where an emotional buyer, they buy, usually that's the most people, they buy emotion, they buy excitement, they buy juice. If you begin to tell them about how your product's going to change their life and what it's going to do, most people get excited about that, want to do business with you. How can they improve their economics? Are there emerging trends right now, business owners, that you can capitalize on? Absolutely, because 80% of all business right now comes from new business. That means that there are so many people that are looking for opportunity that you can supply. And this is why I say this, because business owners, pessimistic times are the best times for you, because big corporations get small and small have a chance to get big. If you'll build the structure, what will happen over the next 67 days on this map? As we get into the year of this goal, 67 days, you build the structure, God will fill it. God is a creator, created man from the dust. He built a structure, then he breathed life and breathed passion into it, and it became. What if we create the mental structure of your business, how it's going to serve? Offers. Dr. Shannon's great at this. What are irresistible offers that could hook your clients, potential people, creating opportunity where people will look rather than bypass your service or product? In the next 7 days, you can revolutionize. And I encourage you, by the way, because I was inspired by this, and I know some of the people that have worked with Dr. Shannon, they've changed their economic landscape. They've built their own economy in downtimes, other countries. Why? Because their strategy will get you to where you want to go. But it's not enough to have a strategy. You got to be willing to build your skills. And this is where you can't want 100-fold return and be a 30% person. I can't want 100-fold harvest and sow 30 or 50%. This requires that I invest. Nobody can make sacrifices for you. This is where you got to say, I'm going to take this from intention to inception, and I'm going to build skills that allow me to win at home, allow me to win in my industry. There's a gentleman I speak with quite a bit over the years and spoke for him maybe about over 25, 30 times. And he's an amazing guy, Fortune 5 president. And he did something so incredible. He said, I needed to become more valuable. I was going to do a presentation. And this was a point in his life where he was struggling. And he goes, but I had an opportunity to do a presentation in Japan. And he said, I had a person that was going to interpret my speech, 27-minute speech. He said, I was resting on my laurels and depending on this person to be able to communicate for me and connect with my audience. Then he realized, he goes, I'm depending too much on other people to come through. If I want to magnify my opportunity, I need to maximize my skills. Let me say that. If you don't maximize your skills, you're going to have to modify your dream. In fact, your talent, your ability will fail you if you don't get skilled. The proverb says it this way: a skilled woman, a skilled man, they will stand in the presence of kings. I don't know about you. I don't want to sit from a distance and watch other people do great things. I want to become more skilled. I want to sharpen that talent. And this is what I love about our 67-day program. It will sharpen you, deepen you, ripen you, give you insights to things you know to sharpen, and also things that hold you accountable to deliver, to make happen in your life. My friend Randy, he did this. He learned Japanese speech, 27 minutes over 6 months. He hired somebody. He said, I can't do it by myself. I can't depend on the computer. I need to hire someone to link arms with, because how many know two are better than one? You multiply your resources, you're happier, you have healthier in your immune system just by partnering with somebody else. How many know that there's strength in that? Two are better than one. It can take your financial game, your whole life to the next level. In fact, you bounce back from sickness faster as well. You improve your immune system. You're happy. You release dopamine in your brain when you got connection around purpose. He hired someone for 6 months to teach him. That one speech has paid him, no exaggeration, $10 million by becoming more valuable and learning a speech. It was not enjoyable. It was not the best feeling, but faith is not in your feeling. It's in your feet. When you decide to become more valuable to the people you serve, the people you love, the people you care about, come on, that all of a sudden it changes the game. And I want to say this on a skill in your relationships. Let's change the idea from I like you to I don't like you to I choose you, because love always chooses the best. Love says, I'm going to choose you. If you chose the people in your life today to show up and use the skill to communicate, and you let them know how much value they have in your eyes, I guarantee you, reassociate something you've experienced together, a joy, a memory. You begin to ignite and build a bond, and you remind that person you're in relationship with, whether they're a friend or a lover, you remind them how special they are to you. And please, parents, do that to your children. Don't let the culture raise them. I just got done speaking for Facebook not too long ago here for Mark Zuckerberg's organization, and they did something very, very interesting. They have a plan on how they're going to raise your children. They have a structure. They're going to communicate. Please don't let your children be raised by the internet or by social media. Come on, be in their life. Tell them who they are. Tell them they're a dreamer. Tell them they're wonderful. Tell them they're gifted. Tell them that they're disciplined. They're excellent. Tell them that they're going to be amazing in the world. They're going to bring hope and healing to people. Come on, let your children become mighty in the world because you decided to open your mouth and change the whole forecast, the way they see themselves. You say, well, they know it. No, they don't. They need to hear it over themselves daily over their life. So we got different, we have better, but the question is, then how can we make it more magical? And I say more magical, it sounds mystical. I'm not a mystical guy. I'm a faith guy. I'm a Jesus guy. I believe it can be supernatural. This can be a season where you plow, you plant, you water, and then all of a sudden you reap. And you can reap so big that it overtakes you to where you are generous to other people. You can share to other people. You can hire other people. You can bless other people. You can increase. Don't let your vision just to be about survival or scarcity or what you can get. Let it be about what you can contribute, how you can make a difference for other people, because then you get into a sharing mindset, and sharing produces synergy. And the only power you have to break greed, to break selfishness and pride in your life is the ability to give, the ability to give back. It can become supernatural, and you have a lot to give back. How many know that's true? I said earlier, 1 million people passed the last 5 days. You could be grateful right there and give thanks. In fact, if you have a roof over your head, not the one you want, but the one you got, you're in the top 75% of the richest people in the world. If you got 15 American dollars to your name, then you are in the top 12% of the richest people on the planet. You can give a lot of gratitude and thanksgiving for that. How many know you're just grateful to have some really great things in your life? But then all of a sudden too, where, man, my efforts get rewarded and they can become supernatural. Really, that can really happen. Yeah, the Bible says God's favors on you. It's never quit. It can come on you as a person, and it can also come on your efforts. When you decide to take it from intention to inception, work your land, the scripture says you will experience an abundance. I think about Superman. Years ago, it was very interesting. Christopher Reeves, he fell off a horse and became a quadriplegic. They said that he severed his main artery, and it was severed from his back and his spinal cord. He would not be a spinal severed cord, and he would never be able to walk or feel again. But Chris did not choose to believe the experts. Chris had a different mentality. He said, as long as I'm alive, I believe all things can be possible. Do you still believe that? Your beliefs are the guiding force of your life. They determine whether you break out or whether you stay the same. The meaning you attach to your business right now, the beliefs you have about it, that story you tell about your business, about your kids, about your health. Come on, don't let it be a limiting story. Let it be an abundant story. Reframe that story. Let it work for you. It's not what happens to you. Come on, it's not who you are that holds you back. It's what you're thinking you're not and what can't happen. Let's shift that can't to I can. He began to say, well, what can happen? They said, well, you can just go to physical therapy, but nothing's going to change. He goes, that's all I need. I got a strategy. And he goes, can somebody help me? He partnered with somebody else to put his body on a daily regiment. Come on, a daily practice where there was accountability and support, and made his body move 4 hours a day. Because he said, if I got life in me, I can't sit there and just wait to die. I need to do something with my potential. Doesn't matter what they say. They go, you're wasting your time. Well, nothing happened immediately. But then all of a sudden, over a small period of time, this is months into him working the process. That's what you're about to do. You're going to work the process. God's person, God's process. You plow the ground, you plant the seed, you water the seed, and then you harvest. For Chris, all of a sudden, he began to feel feeling in his big toe. He told them they didn't believe it. Then he started to feel feelings in a fingertip and other parts of his body. Before you know it, Chris could move his lower half, still had to work with a wheelchair, but he regained feeling all throughout his body. When they found that when the first x-ray, his spinal cord was severed, they found because he put him into a structure, a way he was working with other people, that his spinal cord had reattached to his brain, and now when his brain would give commands, his body would respond. Some of you about to shift your thinking, shift your life, shift your health, shift your relationship with God. Miracles are in motion for you. God didn't bring you this far just to leave you this far. There's a favor on you today to break you out. Many of you are going to enter the greatest summer of your life. You're going to have breakthroughs in your mind and your family and relationship, not because you're just wishing for something to happen, but you're going to turn it from intention to inception. I was in Los Angeles, and I'll end with this. I was there, and I held up a $20 bill. It's a famous little idea, but I held it up one day in the middle of in inner city Los Angeles, and I said, who would like $20? And my crowd that day was about 800, I think it was something like 800. And all of a sudden, everybody put up their hands. I want it, Rex. I go, how many believe I got the ability to give you $20? And they're like, oh, I do, Rex. I believe you can give me $20. I believe you can give me $20. I go, what would you use it for? I just interviewed a couple of people. Someone's like, oh, I'd go to the movies today with my girlfriend, or I would go buy Starbucks, or everybody had a selfish thing that they were going to do. You know, like little kids were like, I'd go buy a Super Bowl. And I just held the $20. And I go, well, who really wants it? And people are like, me, Rex, me, Rex. Finally, this little boy walked from the back, this little Hispanic kid. He ran from the back, and he walked up and he snatched that out of my hand. I go, what'd you just do? He says, you're offering it. I'm going to take it. I don't want to sit like all these other people. I'm going to come get it. Thank you very much. And he walked back. And I go, wait, come back here. He goes, why did you come get it? He goes, because the offer was made and everybody else just sat. I decided to stand up and step toward it because I wanted it in my life. And I said to the people, how many of you thought about standing? How many thought about sacrificing your comfort for your calling and getting up and getting $20? How many of you wanted to get up, but you chose not to, or you told yourself a story? Well, I'll look stupid. I'll look desperate. I'll look like I don't have enough money, or maybe my blouse is not. How many of you just told yourself a stupid story that kept you sitting on your butt, your asset? And then people are like, I did. I go, where else does that story hold you back? God gives you the invitation. Don't give him your limitation. Let today be a day you use your faith. Faith is now, not what happened in the past. Today's decisions are tomorrow's realities. Decide today what your vision is crystal clear, what you're going to master, and decide these next 67 days, you're going to enter into a process that's going to allow that dream, just like a butterfly and a caterpillar, so that bug that crawls a caterpillar can transform. It can slip out of one form that's limiting and get into another form that's beautiful and flies. Many of you, your ideas, your purposes are about to fly. Let today be a day you have enough reasons to get off your tail, invest in your future, invest in the call, invest in what God put inside you. Nobody else can make the sacrifice for you. But today's a day where you make the decision. Today's decision will reward you tomorrow. I believe today you're going to find your faith again, and you're going to get up, and you're going to stand up on the inside and reclaim the dreamer, the lover, the leader, and most of all, the believer. God is for you. You're in great hands. And today's an awesome opportunity. I know what's before you, to be able to not just having goals, but seeing those goals become reality. Think about how different your life would be if fear's not mastering you. but your goals are driving your life. How much juice, how much excitement, how the conversation's different with your lover, your spouse, your children, your grandchildren. Life is different when you're passionate in your mind, passionate in your heart, passionate in your spirit, passionate toward God, and passionate to what he's called you to do on this earth. Today's the day to dig up some of the things that we buried and let go of some of the things that have held us back. Don't let your pain give power over you. Don't lose your present right now to your past. Make a decision, a covenant with the present, that the best of my life will be right in front of me. It's the rest of my life. God is for me. Good things are in my future. And the Bible says, surely goodness, mercy, favor, and provision is chasing you down. You shift your mind, you shift your life. God bless you all. Thank you for the privilege to be here today, Dr. Shannon. You're making a world of difference in the world. God bless you all. Thank you.
Rex Crain, can we give Rex Crain some love? Oh my goodness. Just the generosity of your heart after this huge stint of being and speaking and traveling, and you come in and you're like, I'm going to be in the room with you, Shannon. And that's, we were talking about this. Rex and I are talking about like, what can we do? Because we talked about this in the financial freedom and money days, where your alignments create your assignments, which creates your anointing, which creates your appointments. Wow. That unleashes you. That's right. Great. And so Rex and I have connected. We love the Lord. We love you. We want to see you have your best, the summer that shifts it all. And, you guys know the links, 67dayyear.com. Here's one thing we're going to do generosity wise as a company. We're going to go for everybody who joins. We're going to donate $100 in your name to an orphan in Uganda.
Wow.
To an orphan in Uganda, so that you saying I'm putting a stake in the sand today means a child gets released in the spirit today. So that's what we're going to do. Everybody who has already joined, we're already in process. It's not like we're going to send a lump sum of money. No. It's going to be a very specific thing where we look and we say, all right, Nasilia and Vicky and Val and Britta, your name is going to be sent over as I see you, I hear you, your dreams matter as you're making your dreams matter. And it's going to be that thing that shifts you. So we're going to do that today. Rex, go get some rest, my friend.
Hey, you're amazing. What an opportunity. I'm blown away at your generosity and the opportunity you're presenting to people. And this is truly transformational. It's not just good information or success motivation. Well, that's all good. And as you know, that's the world I live in and speak in all the time. Yeah. And very few people deliver where there's actual strategies that allow people to really massively succeed. And they have that today with you. And so I pray that every person would just push them over the edge today. If you're on the fence today, come into a culture that will support you, that will enable you and really empower you to get to the next place. And this is it. 67 days. We can do anything for 67 days.
That's right. And it only takes 67 days to unleash your brain to allow literally a year's worth of goals collapse time. So Rex, I love you.
Love you, my friend. Have a beautiful day.
I will see you soon. I can't wait to hug you again. Go rest yourself and we'll see each other soon. Bye.
Okay, my friend.
All right. So Rex is going to go rest. And today is the last day to get in the room. We are starting together on the 11th. We are going to hit the ground running. So I want to spend a little bit of time for those of you who are still here with me live. I've had a few questions come in. What are we doing right away? So I want to talk about that. I want to talk to you who are you're joining today. Remember, midnight, the doors close, and the 12 pay did drop today. Now, I'm curious in the chat. Was that a 10 out of 10? Did you need to hear what Rex had to say today to get you over the line, to refocus you, to help you understand why your future matters? If that is a 10 out of 10, I want to know it in the chat. And I want to hear, what was it that is like, it's not I'm going to wait. After you're hearing that, like, I cannot wait any longer. Like, my future matters, and this is going to make the shift. So I'm going to talk to those who are joining or about to join. What are we going to do next week? So Rex talked a lot about vision. So we kick off the intensive next week, creating a vision in a way you've never done it before, so your brain sees it as safe. So we're creating massive vision a brain prime around that vision. We're helping you uncover some blind spots. Remember, you can't see them yourself or you would have cleared them already. We're going to teach you how to teach your brain to believe the vision. We're going to talk about focus. We're going to talk about micro habits. We're going to break down the 67-day year so clearly that there is zero doubt in your mind on how to accomplish this goal. And that's what we're going to do in the intensive. So I've had a couple people like, this is so different. I'm waiting to be able to log in and watch stuff. No. This is 67 days walking beside you every single day. You'll know everything you need to know in that intensive. They're only about an hour and a half long each of the days. Why? Because your brain has a cap of learning. And I'm not going to take you past that cap of learning. So hour and a half on the 12th, the 17th, the 19th, and then the coaching starts. Then the Voxer channel opens. You'll have your small group daily. We're going to be walking beside you. You've never had this level of support towards your dreams, your visions, to not allow you to align back with your blind spots, to unleash you from those patterns of the past and catapult you to the vision you see behind your eyes. In fact, right before I came live with Rax, I went in and recorded another voicemail for you because I felt something on my heart for you. So make sure you listen to that today. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to jump in, hit the ground running. As Rex said, this is going to be the most spectacular summer you've ever had because we are going to be finishing up right about the time June ends. And so we will be seeing not only what's possible, but your potential and the possibilities beyond what you've even been thinking about. So that's a wrap for the Fast Forward Your Future challenge. And I cannot wait to be in the room with you. My master certified neuro coaches and I are going to be walking beside you through the entire 67 days. You'll have us, we rotate this, but you'll have one of us in there on Mondays. We call that coffee chat, where we're just motivating, helping you see some things that maybe you haven't seen yet, getting you along the path. And then on Wednesdays after the intensive, AM and PM, because some of you have jobs, you have your coaching call, and through the model, we're going to start moving you past those patterns and catapult you to the future in the process of accomplishing your 67-day year. So make sure you get in before midnight. Once the doors close, where all our energy goes to our clients. And I hope you are going to bet on yourself to see, I'm not going to use something old and broken to create what matters most. Now I can hang and answer some questions for you, but I really want to end with this. More than anything, your dreams matter. That vision that God put in your heart, it matters. And I know you've tried, and I know you've done things, and I know how frustrating it feels to be in that tug of war of wanting the results to happen, but not feeling like you're capable of making it happen, not having the clarity, the confidence, not believing. One of the things I want you to do as you're leaning in and you're jumping into 67-day year is start to trust yourself again. Start to believe the capacity you have again. Start to value your intuition again. And we will be building those up so much so that no matter what comes your way, you will know how to step in it, how to lead it, and how to accomplish it. I adore you. I love you. For those of you who are in, my energy is switched for you, and we are behind the scenes planning and creating the best 67 days you've ever experienced in a program that releases your financial freedom. Thank you for being with me for the last 2.5 weeks. Make sure you get in the doors before midnight. Remember, we dropped a 12 pay and we're donating $100 in your name to Mosaic Vision, to an orphan specifically in Uganda. This is your year. I know you planned in January a lot of things and you haven't seen them come to pass. It's time to create a year's worth of goals in 67 days and be done with the thought that you can't. All right. I love you. I will see you inside the 67-day year. Bye.